Greetings from Teknobat.net. I'm Elinger, and here today we are at Lenovo's launch event in Turkey. They are launching their Lenovo Moto brand, and we are here with the Lenovo global representative. Can you please introduce yourself to Turkish audience for us?
A pleasure. Thank you very much. My name is Christoph. Look after product portfolio and product operations across the Europe, Middle East, and African market.
Yes.
And so we really look at what are the devices relevant for these markets, and then we also define the features and work with the development team to bring them to market.
So you are working with the development team. You are not actively developing the phones, but you are taking the pulse of the markets in these areas. Am I correct?
Absolutely, exactly.
So what do you see when you take a look at these markets? For example, we are getting over with 2016, we are entering 2017. What trends are emerging in the smartphone market, especially for Lenovo and Moto brands?
I think one of the biggest trends is actually that there's not that much innovation coming out of smartphones. I think consumers, the purchase intent is actually slowing down. Consumers are not buying new phones every year because
they're replacing their phones in Turkey too.
And it's not really, the displays are a little bit better processor, but there's no real new innovation in the last 10 years. I mean, look back like 16 years ago, we had like clamshells, we had like QWERTY, we had like touch, we had real new stuff coming out. It has slowed down a lot. And so what we are doing with Moto Z and the Mods platform is bringing real innovation to the smartphone market. With Mods and the whole ecosystem. So that's what we drive, where we drive the difference. And the feedback on that one is amazing across the world, but also across a lot of markets in Europe, Middle East, Africa.
Also, it opens up a grander accessory market, mod market, and new extra products adding to the phone, new features. For example, mobile batteries are the most important thing in Turkey. We nearly all carry mobile chargers and other accessories. So we really like the Lenovo's Moto extra battery pack.
It's great.
It suits the design. Also, it's important that the mods suit the design of the phone and they complete each other, unlike third-party accessories don't always fit that good when they are developed by other parties. So you have also...
This perfectly fits.
Yes, it fits perfectly and the lines follow the phone.
You just snap it on and it looks like a perfect integrated phone.
And also it looks like the old Motorola phone I had, the Razr, it was very thin. I remember that. Is there any engineering downside making this phone this thin?
I mean, there are a lot of challenges to make it thin, but also not just make it thin, but also make it really strong. So the whole metal construction inside, a lot of engineering effort to make this thin, but also a very strong phone, and also to build in this super fast processor, the 8020, but also make the cooling correctly in this thin phone. And so there are a lot of challenges around that one. But look at this phone, right?
Yes.
So you can actually really, you can sit on it.
It doesn't
break. So you can make really, this is a life-proof phone. And so to combine this with the thinness, there's a lot of innovation in there. Even without mods, this is a breakthrough technology.
So let me ask you about the software side of the things, because the hardware is of course going forward, but most of the events taking in users' life are actually software. Software updates, software upgrades, and more software upgrades. How do you plan to move on that? How does it go in Lenovo Moto brand?
Yeah. So number one, I would argue with you that actually the combination of software and hardware is the big thing. Like the experiences we build in, like chop and this stuff. This only works when you have the sensor built in the phone and the software works with it.
Of course.
Now on software and upgrades, we are really trying hard to be aggressive there. So these phones, they're launched on the latest Android. We are going to upgrade to the next version.
We got Android 7 is right now, but I see Android 6 in the phones right now.
Yes, but we've promised and we're working on the upgrade already. And then also we are working on all the security patches to bring them out on a regular base. And wherever we can do this, sometimes we have partners involved in that process, so that makes it a little bit more difficult, but we are really trying hard to get this out as quickly as we can across the retail versions, but also across the different carrier versions we have, to really make sure that consumers have the latest Android version. So we're absolutely committed on that one.
Thank you very much on that. I would like to ask your opinion on some other things. In Lenovo laptops we have ThinkPads, IdeaPads. Some products are more professional user oriented and some products are more multimedia user oriented or gaming oriented. How do you see, do you have any view on that in the phones, Lenovo phones, Moto phones? Do you have any idea for business use, for family use, or are they intertwined now?
I mean, you can play on this phone. You can have a great gaming experience, but you can also have a great business experience. So we will not make a branding difference on that one, but phones can fit any kind of different purpose. Now, if you think about the future and coming up with maybe gaming mods, then that will turn the phone into a very different device, obviously. But we don't have a gaming sub-brand or a professional sub-brand. It's all Lenovo Moto for all smartphones.
I see. So you are making a move on mods, and this is going to be the future of the phones. Am I correct?
I mean, we just launched this concept to bring innovation and unlimited possibilities to consumers, and we want to encourage all developers out there in the world to actually enter the smartphone market. So think about the past when companies wanted to develop their own mobile solution, but it's really hard to develop a smartphone.
Yes.
So they stayed away from that smartphone development. Actually, you've seen some companies launching smartphones and they exited the market again.
Yes.
Now, with this one, they can actually innovate functionality on an existing platform. And it's reasonably easy to develop a Moto Mod. It's a very low hurdle.
So the standard will be there, but the phone models will move on because, phones move very fast. Every 6 months you launch new devices. Every year you have to change the series.
Of course, but think about mods in a way that we can actually launch new innovation quicker than anybody else, because we might not have to launch a new phone, we can launch innovation with the mod.
I understand.
So if there's a new camera technology coming out, we can actually deliver it on a mod.
Do you expect longer support cycles coming with mods? For example, it will really lengthen the use of a phone you like. Changing your phone is not that easy, but the use life of phones with software updates, the hardware life, with the heating, is nearly not that long. For example, you use a desktop computer for 6 years, 4 years, or even some users use them for 8 years. But with a phone, the ideal performance use time is 2 years, 3 years if you really push it. But at the 4th year, you are running into troubles.
So I don't know whether we are changing that with mods, but I think it's a trend which exists already.
It's not
consumers
about Lenovo.
It's slowing down. It's a general smartphone trend because the next generation doesn't give you that much additional functionality. And I think with the mods ecosystem, we actually encourage consumers to just follow this trend, but also add new functionality step by step during the life cycle.
It's adding excitement to phones again, right?
And it's also, we can talk about something new, and all the different channels and channel partners, they can have their own stuff. They can, also think about like the InstaShare projector, to bundle it with the content, to bundle it with a video on demand solution, and actually sell this solution with a physical projector. There's so many ideas around that one, so I think you will see a lot of good stuff coming up.
I like that for business use especially. So thank you for your time. Thank you for your time for Turkish users. We would like to see you again in Turkey.
Thank you.
Yeni videolarda görüşmek üzere. Hoşça kalın.